fucking watch that show.
I watched it a little bit as a kid because it'd be on or whatever, and so it definitely was like a thing that was on and around, and then I like didn't, do anything with it in like my teen years, and then moved out here. And then fucking Dollar Sushi at 82nd and Foster was notorious for if you just hop in there for lunch for a few plates, they'd always have Cops on. So I ended up watching a few random episodes of Cops just like eating sushi over there.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
Well, I found out, this is when I was living with Matt and Guy, I found out that G4 TV after a certain hour was just nonstop.
Oh yeah, that is right. That's right. Because I feel like I learned that in like a hotel room at some point.
Yeah.
Like, well, this thing.
And so
it's just like Cops the station now.
Yeah, I was like, if I come home drunk, I know that I'm at least gonna have something that I can put on the TV that will be like fucking, cat and dog TV.
It's basically
for people,
like,
yeah.
It's like watching like random YouTube video. Like now it's like I go on to like fucking, what is that subreddit that's just like public freakout? I think it's sub public freakout.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes it's like when I need
shit.
a little Cops, but I don't want to like glorify Cops or watch Cops because it doesn't even exist anymore. It's like I just go on public freakout and watch like some fucking lady like lose her shit in the grocery store. It's like, okay, this is doing it for me.
I absolutely. my new like sub favorite is Instant Karma because like it resolves the whole thing. Like you get a nice little fucking bow on it. It's not just somebody being an asshole and then like you don't know what happens.
Right.
It's like oh no, this situation resolves itself.
Yeah.
In the fucking video.
Some dude getting like punched out by a bouncer or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, and it's just always so
Instant
fucking
Karma?
satisfying. Yeah.
Alright, yeah, I gotta subscribe to that.
You gotta watch it with Instant Karma sometimes because like, and Reddit in general, and the internet in general. But like,
no,
you'll just be scrolling and you're like, wasn't ready to watch someone die.
Oh, no.
Like,
it's usually pretty heavily moderated, but if you catch it before the mods got to it,
and they'll have the NSFW
snuff on there,
tag on there, where it's just like okay, but yeah, you're just like, oh, holy shit, man! Like,
well, they've tightened the regs on it. Like, there's no more like, even if someone was injured, like you can't, like it's not like just survivors anymore. Like if someone was horribly injured, like you can't fucking show
little
them
injured, right? If someone gets clocked in the
absolutely,
face,
like 100%.
cool.
But like if like they shattered every bone in their body, not so much.
That's fair.
Yeah,
when
totally.
you have to ask the question, did I just watch someone get unalived? It's like
exactly.
If you have to ask,
yeah, and like, fuck, man, like it's hard for me to talk about, but like way back in the before times, there was a mosque shooting, and like a bunch of the survivors were like throwing their shit up on Twitter, and it wasn't being moderated at all, and like it just showed up in my feed, and I'm like, whoa, this is fucking crazy. Like some shit blew up at a fucking mosque, and I just watched a bunch of people die.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm like, oh, I can't unsee that now. Like, fuck you, Twitter. Like, god damn it.
Yeah, totally. But I guess that's the world we live in, right? Like, if you're going to be on the internet, especially if you're going to scroll shit like Twitter, like, you're going to see some shit you didn't want to see.
Dude, I mean, it doesn't matter how tight they get their algorithms or how many good mods they have.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you're just going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like, I dodged a lot of stuff, I still haven't seen 2 Girls, 1 Cup to this day.
Stick to your fucking guns on that
I intend to.
I'll bomb anybody with Lemon Party and, like, laugh all day long.
Yeah, I mean, that's all right.
Like, that's just fucking old school, good-hearted trollery, but, like, I draw the line at 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Yeah. Dude,
and we're not going to talk about anything that came after that because Jesus Christ,
I remember
trying to outdo that. No,
my friend Vaughn, who was kind of like a conspiracy-minded guy and like don't trust the government sort of guy, sent me a link that was like, it was like this site and it was like plug in your address, and this was like before Google Earth and shit. When it was like a little more disturbing of like plug in your address and this satellite can like beam in and like you can watch yourself live or whatever, and I was like, oh god, like that's out there. And obviously you like plug it in and then it shows this like map like zooming in, and then it like gets to the end and then it just cuts to a video of like a guy like helicoptering his penis to the fucking "you spin me right round, baby," right? You know, and it's just like
classic meat spin.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so that was funny. Like that's some fucking old school like trolling.
Yeah, you know, like fucking hanging a little brain. You know, like that's just. You know, I'm not going to say that that's what we should be doing these days, but like, it definitely had its place and its time in my heart. You know?
Yeah, for sure. You know, and then it got a lot more like heartwarming with Rickrolling.
Rickrolling, I think, is essentially peak internet.
I agree, and shit peaked again recently when someone Rickrolled Rick Astley on Reddit. Rick Astley was doing an AMA, and someone asked some question with a link and then fucking rickrolled him.
It's just infinity gazing into itself.
Yeah, totally, dude.
It's fucking wonderful.
Yeah, it was just the most delightful thing.
Well, he regularly rickrolls people. Like,
he does.
It's his favorite shit.
Yeah, I love that he embraces it.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I didn't know that.
The man is a fucking meme. It's so great.
Yeah, people who embrace their memery, I really enjoy. I mean,
well, and like he's still like really successful. It's not like he was a washed up joke by any means. Like he was big in England the whole time. You know, like he was never huge over here. But
and
like,
I submit to you that song fucking rules to this day.
That song's hype as fuck,
like,
dude.
Rickrolling never felt bad to me because I'd just sing along. It's like I liked this song before Rickrolling. I still like that song.
We're no strangers to love.
Yeah,
but like no, I mean that man's fucking saucy baritone will fucking stand the test of time. That's all I'm saying. But no, like he didn't have to lean into the meme. Like he could have continued just being the guy that
could have just like ignored it.
But he thought it was so fucking cute that he's like, yeah, all right, I see what you did there.
Yeah. Oh my god, I didn't think I was going to just preoccupy her.
Winnie's getting some treats. No, I love celebrities that lean into their memery, like Nicolas Cage.
Oh god, Cage. Like, I don't even know how far the rabbit hole goes down on that guy. Like, I think he's definitely, like, become the fucking Ouroboros, like...
Yeah, a little bit. Like, he did that History of Swear Words thing on Netflix, which was super funny, and he was very, like, self-aware of why they got him to host.
Right.
And, you know, and he was just sort of being all cagey about it. Like...
Cagey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
It's a little unfortunate because I think people forget how good of an actor he is because he's become sort of this like jokey Hollywood icon, but
the guy is constantly working.
Working and still putting out good shit if you watch his horror fodder. I mean, he puts out like 2 bad action movies every year, but also he's doing like 1 or 2 horror movies a year now that are just awesome.
Dude, everybody needs to go see The Color from Space. Like, it's just so
Color Out of
good.
Space, Mandy, and then he's got this new one where it's like a...
Mom and Dad.
It's like a... Oh, Mom and Dad is so good, and he's got a new one that I haven't watched where it's like a weird... like Chuck E. Cheese where the animatronics come to life.
Oh, right. It's Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie.
Yeah, it's called like Willy's Wonderland or something, and he's like the hero who's like murdering these animatronic monsters who are also trying to like kill these kids who stumbled into this situation. And I just love that he's doing this shit. But it's like you look back on his career and it's like fucking dude, either I think he won an Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas.
Did he win?
I want to say he did.
I know he was nominated.
Yeah, and I want to say he was at least nominated and might have won for adaptation.
Yeah, I could see that.
And like, I mean, dude's just an incredible actor.
He's got some breadth, yeah.
Yeah, Raising Arizona. I mean, I could name 15
Dude,
good...
Raising Arizona.
I could name 15 good Nicolas Cage movies where you're just like, oh yeah, he's fucking great in that.
Like... it's hard for me to even believe that that's a Coen Brothers movie. It's so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
But it's totally a Coen Brothers movie.
Clearly.
I mean...
But, oh man.
Son, you got a panty on your head. I mean, the scene where they rob the place and they're like... Freeze, everyone down on the ground, and no one moves. And they're like, well, Are we supposed to freeze, or are we supposed to get down on the ground? Because you told us not to move, but if we get down on the ground, then we're unfroze. It's just so Coney. It's fucking great.
Oh, God, yeah. Fucking wonderful.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Here we are, folks. Back for another round.
What do you know?
Welcome to Coming Down. My name's Nathan. I'm here with Matthew.
Hey, everybody.
So, dude, like, how's shit been going, man?
Man, like, I've been having to just, like, remind myself that it's okay to be happy right now, because...
Yes.
Like, I'm a fucking officially a day walker. Like, I can walk between the worlds, and...
Right. Double dose vaxxed over here.
Yeah, immune to the COVIDs.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, I've been feeling this sensation that I don't trust, like, this elation, this joy that...
Almost like, what do they call it? Not quite survivor's guilt, but like imposter syndrome or something, right?
That's it. Yeah, it's like I don't feel like I should be feeling good. Like I feel like, you know, there's something waiting to like fuck this up.
Yeah.
And
just like all it took was a shot in the arm just to get out of this year-long rut we've all been stuck in.
Yeah, well, it's like I'll be sitting around and like, you know, I'm just in a good mood for no reason, and I'm like, oh, that can't be.
Yeah.
What's wrong? Like, I must be feeling manic right now. I'm gonna crash soon. Like, yeah, I'm just, oh God, I'm gonna get so depressed. Like, no, dude, you're feeling good because you don't have to worry about dying from going outside.
Yeah, totally. And going to the grocery store and like things you have to do.
Yeah. It's pretty great. I mean, I'm still doing all the things, you know. I'm not going anywhere unless I have to. I'm still wearing a mask. Yep. I'm still washing my hands.
Yep, we're still in that world, but you know, the optimism, the like massive amounts of optimism I'm feeling are just, it's not a feeling I've had, you know. It's been the darkest timeline for the last year.
Absolutely.
And just coming out of it and like, yeah, seeing this light at the end of the tunnel and feeling like this reason for hope, and like, it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like remembering that I can trust joy, you know.
Yeah,
like,
man.
It's fucked.
Yeah. Well, yeah, by the time this comes out, I'll have gotten my first dose, and potentially even my second, because, you know, the floodgates are open now.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's just getting hooked up. So.
Absolutely. No, and I'm glad that you got your piece before it got too crazy, because, like, man.
Yeah, and I got it through the official channels. Like, I just signed up for the .gov thing, and like 3 days later they sent me the email to set up the appointment, and then I was able to set it up for very soon. So yeah,
hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, we're recording on a Friday and I'm getting it on Monday, so when this comes out, who knows. But
beauty.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, man, shit's really looking up. It's kind of wild.
I'm saying, yeah, like everybody that we know right now is just kind of like, okay, like I crunched the numbers and I think that this is what I'm gonna do for my shit, and like it feels really good to like see everybody like getting the logistics, and like everybody's got their shit figured out. Mm-hmm. And we just kind of know that, you know, within the next month or so, pretty much everybody that we know is going to be vaxxed.
Yeah. Ideally.
And that's a good feeling, man.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It feels like shit's going to return to normal, and I don't know what that's going to feel like, but
well, and I feel like it's going to be a new normal. Like
it will. I do,
you know,
feel like most people will fall into their old tricks like pretty easily. It's going to be kind of like uncomfortable and weird for a little bit.
But I feel like there's also going to be just kind of a new layer to it, where it's like we've all kind of remembered that we're okay with being at home, that we don't mind cooking, that you know, it's totally cool to just have people come hang out. Well, okay, I guess we haven't done much of that apart from you and me, but like but it's like I used to, I mean, you know, in the before times, I was working so fucking much that I ate most of my meals at restaurants or food carts, and I did most of my social gathering in bars, you know, or fucking game stores, you know, but like just about everything was in some kind of an external venue. And then my home was basically just the place where I went to crash and recover, you know, and like just fucking watch TV for a few hours before I pass out or whatever. And like having to actually live in that space has kind of changed the way that I look at being at home. And, you know, I'm not necessarily trying to get everybody to come over to my house, but, like, it's been really nice not having to fucking pay to play every single time I want to hang out with people. You know?
For sure, man. For sure.
My finances, like, Jesus, dude. I'm actually not spending, close to $50 minimum per day just to eat.
Right.
That's huge, man. Like, I can live like 2+ weeks off $300. Like,
there you go.
It's fucking great.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, a great lesson for everyone is to try and live below your means, because if you do that, you will just save money.
Exactly.
So,
well, and I've also learned that I don't just have to eat fucking PB&J and like, rice and beans to save some money. Like, dude, I'm eating good, and like it's still not as much as I'm spending on.
Shout out that you've got like a year to sort of, like you don't have to go back to that job, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh no, that's
don't go back to that 60-hour-a-week bullshit where you're just killing yourself, dude.
Dude, honestly,
for what, to eat out all the time?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Like this has been the biggest lesson for me, is that the fucking work ethic that we were passed on wasn't actually the work ethic of our ancestors. It was this fucking fake corporate,
it's a capitalist driven
facsimile where it's like, yeah, you should just keep going to this fucking bullshit job and like put in as many hours as you can, even though you're never going to see another fucking dime from it. Like,
well, right, because that's the thing, because that did work at one point, back in like the 50s and 60s or whatever.
Exactly.
If you did work your 40-hour a week job and maybe put in a little overtime, and then then after a few years of that, you do get to buy the house and the car and afford for the kids and like everything. Now, like, you can't fucking do that. Like, we both work full-time at decent-paying jobs, and, like, we are not going to buy a house, like, anytime soon.
No.
Like,
absolutely
it's not going to fucking happen.
And it's, like, with a lot of these corporate structured jobs, like, even if you put in extra effort, it doesn't matter.
No.
Like, doing the bare minimum is actually the strat, because...
Yes, it
then
is.
you don't fucking burn yourself out, and, like, you'll probably get promoted anyway, Like, it's...
Yep.
Oh, it's such a fucking stupid rat's maze.
Huh. Just occurred to me, like, man, I don't know. I wonder if they named the main character in Office Space Peter because of the Peter Principle, but...
Oh, shit.
Like, never put that together.
I can't believe I never put that together either, and I bet you the Peter Principle was already a fucking known thing at that point.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Listeners, look up Peter Principle if you want to know why your job is awful and why you shouldn't work hard.
Just fail upward until you hit the level of your incompetence.
Yep, totally. Because the people above you only did the same thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, God. Yeah. Peter Principle's great.
Actually, that will lead us into what I wanted to bring up. Oh, this is a perfect segue. But before we do get to that, I just want to do the quick housekeeping stuff, because we forgot to last time. Which, like, did. Whatever. I did want to let people know, like, shit is returning to normal. So, like, we're probably going to get back onto some regular schedule. I'm not going to promise it, because we still have to kind of, like, reconfigure our own lives, and like I got to find like my editing day again, and we got to find our recording day again. Like, now we've just been sort of doing it like, hey, you want to do a pod? Yes, we're both free. Okay. But that will come back to normal, and I'm gonna say like by June 1st we'll be back on the weekly. We'll probably reinstate the Patreon. Everyone who's on it, obviously you'll get I'll send you a couple emails, and you'll get the notices through Patreon that like, hey, we're gonna start it back up again. So like, if you need to cancel that and you can't afford it, that's totally fuking cool.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
we still love you.
Absolutely. If you want to hop on it, like, you can do that now too, like at just $1 a month, and it helps us out. It helps pay for our hosting and stuff. So
and it won't kick in until we unpause it.
Yeah, totally. So but we're not gonna charge any, we're not gonna have people chip in if we're not doing at least weekly episodes. So
exactly.
So there's that. And I still want to just do this promotion pretty much till the end of time because it just needs to happen. So if you want to donate really any amount of money to BLM or to the ACLU, we will match that donation.
100%.
And we will send you a care package of swag. So we'll send you a shirt and some stickers and coasters and buttons and like whatever else you want. So just, hit us up on Twitter at comingdownpod, email us comingdownpod@gmail.com. Let us know you made a donation. We'll match that donation and we'll send you some stuff. So hell yeah, please do that. And actually ACLU right now is going to be super important because they are fighting these Georgia voting laws that are fucking like criminal is what they are.
Unconstitutional, draconian, you name it. They're insane.
Yeah, so ACLU is going to be doing some really important work moving forward to secure voting rights for people in the South. And
straight up.
Yeah, would love to see people chip in on that. So, and if you can.
Exactly.
And we'll reward you for it. We'll reward you with stuff with our name on it.
Exactly. And I tell you what, Ricky did a great job with the design on this shit, so...
Yeah, the shirts are slick as hell. We've got holographic stickers now that are super badass.
Those holograms are sick.
Yeah, so, definitely hop on that. Cool, so... Jobs, this was the question I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
What's the weirdest job or even thing you've done for money, hustle, side gig, anything like that?
So I feel like I'm forgetting something, and I am almost certain that I am, but the thing that comes to mind first was when I was a petition gatherer. Yes.
Oh, this is interesting.
Dude, that was a weird fucking gig.
Oh, I bet.
So here's the setup. I'm living in Folsom with Jess. This is in 99, I want to say.
Petitioning was a real gig back then, and I have a story related to this.
Yeah, so California had just passed medical marijuana on the previous election cycle.
Fuck, it's been that long.
Yeah. And they had a huge petitioning push for that. There was a lot of venture capital and as well as grower money behind that particular ballot push. And I don't know for a fact that this particular office had opened specifically for the medical ballot initiative, but it had definitely expanded for it. And they were trying to justify that expansion by finding larger issues to push that weren't just local Sacramento issues. Mm-hmm. And dude, it wasn't even a midterm year. It was an in-between year. There had just been a big election, and the year after this one was going to be a midterm, but this was just a pure fucking straight up bunk year. Nothing was happening.
Yeah.
And so they were fucking grasping at straws. There was it was the guy who ran his dog for office.
Wait, in California?
In California.
I remember hearing about this.
Yeah, this is how I knew about it too. It was just oh, that guy.
Yeah.
And he had come up with an initiative called None of the Above. Which I'm sure you know exactly what it is, just hearing that name.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to add that line to every ballot.
Dude.
And on the surface it sounds mostly a gag, but his goal with it was to have the results tracked from every election to show voter dissatisfaction.
Yeah, I mean, I support this in theory. It just doesn't actually get anything moving.
No,
right?
it's mostly garbage. Ranked choice is so much better in virtually every category.
Right, right.
That actually gets something done.
Right.
Rather than just being no.
Right. All this does is prove dissent and dissatisfaction.
Well, and it elects no one.
And which we already know that there is plenty of dissatisfaction, right?
Yeah. I mean,
nobody likes anyone that they check a box for.
Exactly. I mean, that it effectively would stymie elections.
Yeah.
So his heart's in the right place, but politically it's a fucking no-go.
Right.
And but he has a lot of money. Like, this guy's a fucking billionaire. And so, yeah, he was just like, I like this idea. Let's throw some fucking money at it. And so our office, like, the guy fucking picked it up. And so, you know, this is about when I come into the picture. And fuck, what had I been doing up until that point? I can't remember exactly where this is on the timeline. I think this was... Like, I'd already done the Baskin Robbins thing, and I was like, I'm not fucking going back to that.
Yeah.
And so this was, like, my attempt to do something that was a little outside the box.
Uh-huh.
And so...
the recruiters back in that era were pretty aggressive. Or, like... They would really sell you on, like, you need to be a petitioner. Like, you can make so much money doing this.
Buddy, no. I answered a fucking want ad in the newspaper.
Oh,
like,
no shit.
I was looking for work.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
And they were just like, yo, like, we pay per signature, you know.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Honestly, it was pretty sketchy. But it was, like, they had this kind of, like, this radical bent in their verbiage that I was just like, oh, these guys are progressives. Like, I might be, like, helping forward a good agenda by, like, getting into this. Maybe I'll be doing something good, you know?
And also making a buck, so yeah.
Also, yeah, I just needed fucking money. And, again, I'm not really sure. This might actually be before the whole Baskin Robbins shit, but I want to say this was me trying to make it work in a way that I could feel good about.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, I go in there and it is like just the most fucking shittiest backroom fucking space you can imagine. It's like,
yeah,
it's in downtown Sacramento, so it's like this old office building that hasn't been used for shit in forever because it's fucked up and needs to be demolished. And so yeah, you go up, you park in this parking lot in the back, and then you go up these fucking stairs, and like then it's just this fucking raw ass drywall room.
Yeah.
You know, and like there's a desk and an old phone, and that's about it. And like this fucking hippie's in there just like, hey, what's up, man? And just like, oh,
here's your clipboard and your packet. And
did I come to the right place? And he's like, are you here for a job interview? And I'm like, yep. And he's like, you're in the right place. And I can barely remember the interview. It was mostly a fucking formality.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it was just like, okay, like, come back here at this time.
Do you know what a pen is?
Yeah, exactly.
You ever seen a clipboard?
And I'm pretty sure I've told the story of like going to Auburn and collecting the signatures for the speed bumps. Have I told that story?
Huh.
Okay, well, I've told it recently, so I was like, I'm pretty sure I've told it on the pod. Anyway, okay, so like, we'll get there. No, yeah, okay, so none of the above. We did none of the above for, like, a long time.
So that was your big campaign that you were out there?
Yeah.
So you're, like, hitting people up, be like, hey, what do you think about a none of the above line on your ballot?
Yeah, yeah, and that was the thing, is, like, they just gave me a bunch of fucking paper to get signatures on, and they're like, good luck.
So many people must not have understood. They're like, what do you mean? And you're like, well, how about a checkbox that says, I don't want any of this? And they're like,
oh my god.
But what does that accomplish? Well,
dude, so like it was a pretty savage learning curve, like, because I started out thinking like, oh, I can just walk down the street and talk to people, it's gonna be easy. This is I mean, like, this seems like a pretty fucking reasonable thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And like, dude,
well, people already don't want to talk to you.
You know what it's like when someone walks by you on the street and they're like, hey man, can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah.
And you're like, will it look weird if I sprint away from you right now? Because that's what I want to do.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I was just like, okay, this whole, like, stopping people on the street thing, that is a non-starter. Like,
right.
The best thing that I can hope for is someone to be like, nah, man, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other options. And so, like...
No, you gotta go to, like, a shopping center or, like, outside, like, a grocery store or a Walmart or something.
Well, and, like, after my first day of walking around downtown...
And you're still stopping people while they're, like, busy and trying to get something done. But,
right.
Like...
And so, after my first day of walking around downtown and almost getting stabbed, I was like...
What?
I was like, yo, I don't know, like, nobody wants to talk to me, and, like, we'll call him Steve. It might have been Craig. I don't remember what fucking hippie guy's name was, but, like... He's like, yeah, man, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I just went walking around K Street Mall. And he's like, you what? I'm like, you know, fucking, I figure there's a lot of people there. He's like, dude, what happened? I'm like, well, nobody wanted to talk to me. And then, like, I thought these guys were going to try to fucking jack me. So I got out of there. He's like, well, yeah, they're probably going to jack you, dude.
Holy shit.
It's like, I don't know what you're thinking, fucking trying to petition down on K Street. I'm like, all right.
They give you, like, no guidance at all. They're just like, here's your clipboard, fucking...
Go have fun.
Find some people.
Yep.
Get some signatures.
Yeah. And so I'm like, well, what do you think I should do? He's like, well, dude, just go to fucking Walmart. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, man, like... People are going in and out all the time, and they won't fuck with you as long as you're not within 10 feet of the front door.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so you knew this the whole fucking time.
Oh, man.
Like, why didn't you just tell me to go to fucking Walmart? You fucking animal.
It's like, this guy went to K Street Mall.
Yeah, right? Like, exactly. Exactly. He's like, this motherfucker was trying to get petitions from fucking crackheads, dude. Like, can you believe it?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you should try outside the jail next time. I don't know.
No, I straight up tried to talk to people outside of a fucking hourly hotel, dude. Like,
dude, no.
This is how green I
No.
was. Because, like, I hadn't even lived in a big city at this point. Like,
right, totally.
I'm from fucking Bend, you know? Like, this is all new to me. I'm just like, well, downtown, that's where all the people are, right?
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
That's where...
Not the right kind of people.
No.
Not the people who are gonna fucking talk to you.
Right.
Oh, so yeah. Once he told me that, I was like, oh, well, I live out in Folsom. Should I try there? He's like, dude, what? You live in fucking Folsom? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, how are you driving in here every day? I'm like, well, I need a fucking job. He's like, dude. Like, what?
It's like, this is barely a job, man.
Yeah, seriously. He's just like, the fuck's wrong with this dude? Like, do you have brain damage, man? Like, whatever. No, whatever. Like, you're cool. You're cool. Like, yeah, go to Folsom. Like, yeah, that's where the good shit is.
Go ahead.
Because, like, for those who don't know, Folsom is a suburb of Sacramento that's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And has always been doing pretty good. So, like, yeah.
Johnny Cash put him on the map.
The prison put him on the map.
I know. No, I'm kidding.
But since then, there's a fucking Intel facility out there. Like, it's a whole thing. And even before Intel, it's always been a rich ass community, probably because of the fucking prison. I can't believe I just put that together. Anyway, yeah. So I start posting up outside the Walmart in Folsom, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm just like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a minute?" And they're like, "Oh, what seems to be the trouble?" Like, really? Oh yeah. I mean, what about this none of the above initiative? And they're like, "Excuse me." Well, you see, the deal is, if you don't like who's on the ballot, you can just sit none of the above. Well, so let me get this straight. You're out here trying to get enough people to sign this thing just so we can vote on that?
So we can vote on a non-vote?
Yeah, so we can vote on whether or not we want to have not voting on the ballot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, good luck. And
so people are talking to you, but you're not getting signatures?
No. I mean, I did get some. I mean, like, dude, there were definitely people who were like chill and were like, yeah, fuck it. I hate everyone on the fucking ballot.
Yeah, I mean, I'd sign that ballot.
Right? Exactly.
Or I'd sign that petition.
And there was also, like, I would say, like, a huge portion of the people who actually signed were just like, you seem like a nice fellow.
Yeah, dude, right?
Why don't I help you out?
Yeah.
And also, dude, if you ever want to figure out who the crazy fucking, like, politics people are in your community, like the ones who are thinking that fluoride is fucking mind control.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Just hang out and fucking talk to people about voting. Because they will come to you.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
I'm pretty sure there's a guy who's still sending his secret newsletter to the apartment that I was living in at the time.
Yeah, dude.
Because I was like, man, you seem harmless, and I really want to know what fucking crazy shit you're getting into.
Hell yeah.
And, like, he started sending me these fucking things that were, like...
Oh, that's awesome.
News clippings and printouts of websites.
But it's his little, like, conspiracy zine?
Yeah,
Do you still have a copy?
I do have the stuff that he sent me, yeah.
Dude, find one. Let's put it in the show notes.
Oh, man. Yeah, okay. I'll go through the old lunchbox. Yeah. Fuck, dude. Yeah, like, towards the end of our conversation, he told me that I should, under no circumstances, brush my teeth any more than once a day. And it's better to do it at night because then...
Because the fluoride content's lower.
Yeah, exactly.
The pipes have been running more.
Because you're not using your teeth at night, so like that's 8 hours of the day where you'll just have clean teeth.
I mean, that's just rational thought.
Yeah. Folks at home, don't try this. I've had several root canals.
Because you were listening to the zine?
I mean, I figured I'd try it for several years and see what happened, you know?
This wackadoo seems onto something.
I mean, at the very least, let's give him the time of day, you know?
I mean, it's in a publication.
Like, what do we stand to lose? Several teeth? Like, no big deal.
Better than several million brain cells, am I right?
Well, we lost those two.
Yeah, right.
But that's neither here nor there. No, so so we did none of the above for a while, and then we did this thing in Auburn, and this was a thing where, like, normally you would just like check in, you like come in and like turn in your signed petitions, and like if there was new shit, you'd pick it up, you know. But this was a thing where he's like, okay, we need everybody to be in this place at a time, and then we're all gonna go out to this place and we're gonna do this thing. And I'm like, okay, I mean, fuck it. Like, I wasn't fucking making any money off this shit anyway. Like, maybe this is gonna be a good thing.
Yeah.
So I roll out to Sacramento and fucking post up at like 9 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was. It's probably 10. These were fucking hippies. But yeah, so we all load into the van and like we head out to Auburn, and on the way, like, we're getting the briefing, and turns out in Auburn, California, they have one main road that goes through town, and they had put it to a vote whether or not they should put a speed bump on this road because people were going too fast.
One speed bump?
One speed bump.
Nice.
And the town had voted unanimously to build this speed bump.
Monorail.
Exactly. And so this one fucking rich dude in Auburn, California, this stuck in his fucking craw. He was not okay with
He was
this
like,
one fucking speed bump.
this speed bump is oppression.
Yeah. He's like, it's gonna fuck up my alignment. Fuck you guys. And so he paid personally to have a ballot initiative circulated by our office
To remove the speed bump?
to remove the speed bump.
Fuck yeah.
And our boss is just like, this guy fucking paid for us to do it, so you assholes are gonna go out here and walk around and not earn any money.
You know the speed bump? Do you hate the speed bump?
Right, and like that's the thing is we get paid by the signature, so like we're not going to make any money doing this at all.
No,
we're showing up and volunteering.
Oh yeah, because you said like everyone in town was on board with this.
Yeah, it was a unanimous vote.
So this dude was convinced that there were enough other people in town who were like, also, yeah, fuck that speed bump.
I don't think he was convinced of anything. I think he just wanted to fucking make himself feel better by throwing some money at it.
Yeah, he just wanted to buck the system in some way.
Yeah, if he could somehow make this fucking happen, then he was going to. You know?
Yeah.
And yeah, like our fucking boss was like, "Yo, I'm not going to turn down free money."
Right.
But we also have to like...
But you get paid by the signature, so did you get any sort of stipend or anything?
No.
So he was like...
We were independent contractors.
So he was like, okay, go work. You're not going to earn any money, but have fun.
Yeah, it was basically like, yo, if you just want to have a job here, you have to do this.
Wow.
This is what we're doing for this day.
You're like, cool, I guess I'm going to go have lunch. Come back with 0 signatures.
Yep. That was the deal.
Keep my job. How long are these campaigns, though? Like 2 weeks?
This was one day.
Oh, one day. One day.
Yeah.
That's all the dude was willing to throw money at.
But I mean, like, that's all that he could... But no, I'm pretty sure that's all that our office guy could, like... We'll call him Craig now, even though we called him Steve before. Pretty sure that's all this fucking hippie motherfucker could really, like, commit to. It's just like, look, man, like, we'll take your money, but we're not going to canvass for more than one day. We'll go door to door, and I will guarantee that I will have X amount of people on the street from this time in the morning till this time at night.
Yeah.
But, like, once that's done, we're done. And, yeah, like, we got out there, and, like, I was hanging out with these 2 dudes, and, like, we were just like, yeah, let's just fucking, like, we'll all just go together. We'll fucking go down, this street, this street, this street.
Oh, so you were knocking doors.
Yeah. Oh, it was door to door. Absolutely.
Well, you probably had to. Like, there wasn't like a busy area of town.
Well,
if there were one speed bump town.
Not only that, but like I'm pretty sure that was the auspices that we were hired under. It's like this guy knew that if he didn't go door to door, he wasn't going to get shit. And so I think that was his assumption, is that like maybe it was low voter turnout or something. Yeah. Like he was just like, well, I'm sure that there's more people who didn't want this, but they just didn't come out to vote. So he's just like, so
rugged.
We'll throw some money at it and see what happens. And so like,
did you have like talking points too? Like, it's gonna fuck your alignment up.
No. Oh God, man. No. No.
It was mostly just like, hey, do you hate the speed bump? No? All right.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, we're circulating a petition to introduce a ballot initiative to remove the speed bump that was recently placed on the street in the middle of downtown. And they would just start shaking their heads. Like, they'd wait for us to finish and then just be like, that was a unanimous vote, right?
And then they're like, did fucking Carl put you up to this? Like, because I bet he was loud. I bet he, like, went to all the town halls. I bet everyone fucking knew the guy, right?
Oh, you would not be surprised by how many people said, look, we know who's putting you up to this.
Yeah, dude, like...
And it's like, look, I'm sorry, like, I don't have a stake in this. Like, I don't have a horse in this race. I'm just doing my job. And
I don't have a
most
bump on this
people
road.
Understood that. Yeah, exactly. They're just like, it's cool, but I'm not signing that, right? And we're like... Yeah, I mean, you're fucking certainly not the only one who's told me that today. Like, I mean, 0 signatures. So, God, there is some weird shit that happens this day. Completely unrelated to petitions. So, first thing that happens, we're out there, and I swear I've told this story on the pod before, so I'm sorry, dear listeners.
I do not remember this, but like...
but you might once I get into this. So this dude that I'm with, we'll call him Chase. I don't remember his name, but he is from Sacramento, has never left the city.
Whoa.
And we're in Auburn, California, which is like Sierra foothills, essentially.
Yeah, I know roughly where that is.
And there's... I don't know if it's like a big creek or a river or a very small river. It's one of those things, but it's fucking cut like a gorge, dude. Like, like thousands of feet deep.
Whoa.
And or maybe 1,000 feet deep.
Okay.
But like a deep fucking canyon, right?
Whoa. Okay.
That's super steep sided. and kind of short across, and like there's several of these and not several of these canyons, but like you can come upon the canyon in several different points because it kind of snakes through, right?
Okay.
And it's also got a few different tributaries that have carved their own gorges that are kind of like offshoots. And so we're kind of away from like the main part of town at this point. Like we've decided to go down this side road, and this road takes this hard turn, and right where it turns you can see through the trees that there's a huge river gorge. Maybe not river, probably a creek. But there's this huge cut like right past the trees, and like everything drops away and it's just a big open space, right? And you can just barely see it through the trees, and there's like maybe a couple of birds that are flying past. And this is something that I've seen 1,000 times before growing up in Oregon. Like River Gorge is nothing new, even a steep-sided canyon. Fuck, dude, like that's describes most rivers in Eastern Oregon.
Yeah.
And this dude, who, as I've said, has never left Sacramento, stumbles, catches himself, and then essentially collapses like a rag doll, like a marionette that's lost its fucking strings, right? And we're just like, "Hey, man, are you okay?" And he's like, "What the fuck is that, man?" And I'm like, "Huh? Dude, what the fuck am I looking at right now?" Dude, I don't know. And like I kind of get up to where he is, and I'm just like trying to follow his line of sight, and I'm just seeing trees and canyon, and I'm just like, what do you mean? Like what are you having, like what is the thing that you can't fucking parse here, And he's like, "Dude, I've never seen anything like this before in my life. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at." And I'm like, "The trees?" He's like, "Fuck you, dude. I've fucking seen trees. What the fuck is that?" And I'm like, "Okay, dude, I'm seriously trying to help right now, but I don't get it. Like, is it the rocks? Is it the dirt?" He's like, "Yeah, the rocks and the dirt over there. Like, way the fuck over there. Like, what is that?" And I'm like, "The canyon?" He's like, "A canyon?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's like and like honestly, I feel like we had to go through a couple of permutations before we could even get there."
You must have, yeah.
Like there was a lot of fucking 20 questions that happened, but finally it was like, "The canyon? The fuck is a canyon?" And I'm like,
man.
Okay, so like, and I'm just like, "Oh boy, we're gonna have to fucking have a geology lesson here right now." But I'm like, "Okay, dude, so like a river flowed across the ground for like centuries, and it dug away the dirt in a path for fucking hundreds of years, and it finally dug its way the fuck down, and right now you're looking at where the river used to be." And he's like, "Holy fucking shit, dude. I've never seen anything like this before in my life."
So he just got this like full-on vertigo by just even like looking at...
It was the Native Americans seeing fucking sailboats for the first time, dude.
Right, just like, I don't know what I'm looking at.
It was visual information that had no context in his fucking brain whatsoever.
Holy shit.
He was fucking forming new neural pathways as we spoke.
That is so insane.
And like, you can read about this phenomenon. Like, this is a thing that happens to fucking Native people all the time when they encounter new situations. But like, this is just a fucking black kid who grew up in the city. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I believe that like there might be things in the world that if I were unprepared to see them, I would be very taken aback and like thrown into a state of confusion. I believe that that's possible for me as well. But this is fucking mind-blowing, because you're just like,
well, right.
What do you mean, dude? Like,
and like, he like we actually got him up and like walked him over. Like, and like, he fucking like got all weak in the knees again, just like getting vertigo and shit. I'm just like, "You see down there the river?" And he's like, "This is fucking crazy, dude." And like, like 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes later, he's like leaning against a tree and like nodding his head, Like, yeah, okay, like he'd finally gotten the scale into perspective, and he's like tracking the birds as they're flying along, and he's just like, this is a trip, man.
Holy shit.
I'm just like, yeah, dude, like, have you never been up in the mountains? He's like, dude, I've never left Sacramento in my life.
And probably not even any sort of, I mean, like a park. Like, he's probably seen a creek.
Seen a ton of parks.
And
like, there's even a river in Sacramento, the American River. Like, he's seen a river before.
Yeah.
But we're talking
that
about
not like steep.
Hundreds of feet deep gorge. You know?
Yeah, it's not like steep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just the perspective just completely threw him off.
Exactly.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
What a fucking trip, dude.
Fucking A.
Dude, and you're just having to, like, figure it out. Like, what do you mean, dude?
Right? You know, I'm this fucking country kid who's, like, seen a million fucking rivers, you know?
Well,
like,
it's like, I've never seen, like, a volcano or,
Sure.
like, a glacier. I don't know. I'm trying to think of, like, what in the world I could come upon that I would just be, like, so taken aback by.
Well, have you seen the Grand Canyon?
No. I mean, not in person.
Okay. Well, so for
But
me...
I've been to gorges and stuff, and I guess it is pretty wild.
Well, for me, like, seeing the Grand Canyon was, I think, the closest that I have come to that, because, like, the scale of it is just impossible.
Yeah.
Like, our minds aren't built to understand that type of fucking insane
Yeah.
space.
I've definitely had, like, my breath taken away by certain things. Like, when I was a kid, like, we did rock climbing and stuff, and we went into some, like, rock faces that were just like, what the fuck? Like, it's straight up, and, like, people are climbing it. I don't know, just, like, that sort of thing definitely, like, tripped me out. Nothing that would ever, like, knock me to my knees, though. Like, where I'm just like, I don't understand reality right now.
So for me, like, I thought I had it together. Like, I'm standing there on the edge of the Grand Canyon. I'm looking around. I'm like, yeah, this is fucking nuts, right? And then I see what I think are two fucking sparrows just cruising along at, like, you know, a couple 100 feet above the floor of the canyon, which is still hundreds of feet below where I am.
Right.
And they're just cruising along, and then they hit the wall of the canyon that I'm standing on, and they start flying up it, just using an updraft, right? Not flapping their wings at all, just like soaring up. And then these fucking buzzards with a fucking 6-foot wingspan fly up in front of my fucking face.
Whoa.
And I fell to the ground.
Yeah.
Because my brain couldn't fucking handle it. These are supposed to be 3-inch birds.
Yeah, like little tiny birds.
And they're fucking 6 feet wide. And so, like, that was when I realized, like, how actually big that fucking thing was.
Yeah.
Or more accurately, realized how little I understood how fucking big that fucking thing was.
Yeah.
Because you just can't. It's impossible.
Right.
You don't have references, you don't have landmarks, like, nothing can really bring it into scale.
Right.
Because the minute that there is something that you can recognize, it's so fucking far away that you can't even really get a fucking feel for it unless you have binoculars, and then that's all fucked anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
It's just so goddamn big.
Yeah. Oh god, that's so fucking crazy, man.
Right? So, you know, like, I did that much later, like, after this happened, so I didn't have that point of reference then, but, like, yeah, you know, here I am, like, walking down the street, and this dude collapses, and then is just fucking almost uncommunicative, because he's seeing something that we can't see.
He's just had his brain fucking melted.
Yeah, and, like, finally we realized, oh, no, we're seeing the same thing that he's seeing, he just can't fucking
He's not
comprehend it.
Yeah. Huh. That is wild.
Yeah. it's not many times in your life that you're gonna fucking experience something like that, you know?
No, and I'm even trying to, like, think as a child, you know? Like, seeing something for the first time that just doesn't register in any possible way.
Well, I almost think
and I'm trying to remember if I had anything comparable to that.
I almost think that, like, at that point, you don't have enough experience to be blown away like that. Like, you're still encountering new shit on a daily basis.
And your mind's, like, open to it all,
exactly.
Right? So once you're sort of, like, solidified...
You're used to having your mind blown at that age, you know?
Right, totally. And and you're willing to just sort of accept new things. But once you sort of live in this concrete, factual world that you understand, and then just, like, seeing a perspective that throws you off, like, I get it all now, but, like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Seriously. Well, and like, I've been told that story about the Native Americans seeing sailboats and not, like, really knowing... It's not even not knowing what they are, but just not even, like, really fucking even believing that they exist, you know, just like just being like, I don't know what that is, so I'm just gonna fucking keep going, you know? Like I've never gotten that. I'm just like, wouldn't they just freak out and be like, what the fuck is that? Like, no, you'd be like, oh, I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm just gonna go over here now because fuck that. You know? Like,
totally. Yeah,
like,
shit has gotten too weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's to the point where I don't even want to freak out about it. Like, I just can't handle it, so I'm out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I get that now. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah, you've witnessed that sort of experience firsthand. Well, that is fucking wild.
Well, that was the first weird thing that happened that day.
Dude, so... What else happened in good old one speed bump Auburn?
Yeah, once Chase got his legs back, you know, like, we kept tooling down that bullshit street and eventually came back up to downtown. And we're with this dude named Eric, who's, like, a backpack rap guy. And, like, you know, he's a fucking stupid white kid who's just kind of a pain in the ass. And I say that loving backpack rap, but, like, you know, he was not a good ambassador. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And, you know, Chase is a black man who, like, grew up in the inner city and, like, knows fucking hip hop. And here's Eric trying to, like, trying to fucking mansplain Dr. Octagon to him, you know?
Oh, man.
And he's just not having it. Like, just has no fucking time for Eric. And I don't blame him. Like, come on, here's this guy trying to fucking misappropriate his culture and, like, teach him about it. Like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
And so... But we're somehow the unlikely trio who are just, like, palling around that day.
Yeah.
And, like, we get back to downtown and we're like, okay, enough of this all of us fucking going to the door together shit. Like, we're not fucking winning any hearts and minds this way. So I tell you what, like, I'm going to take this side of the street. Eric, you take that one. Chase, what do you want to do? He's like, I'm going to just hit this one over. And then, like, you guys come down to the end. And we'll
cycle around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so we're doing that. We get through a couple of blocks. And I'm cruising down this block. And I think I hear Chase's voice from inside a house. And I'm like, that's fucking weird. But that can't be right. Probably just being an idiot. And so I just keep heading down the block. And I get to the end, and I don't see Eric anywhere, and I don't see Chase anywhere. I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to cruise up this next street. And I get halfway up the next street, and, like, it's got an alley that connects with the next one over. And I hear Chase's voice coming from the same fucking house again. And I'm like, okay, I'm not imagining that. And so I go walking down this alley, and I'm just kind of looking up the house that I think it is. And then Chase pokes his fucking head out the window. He's like, dude, what are you doing out there? And I'm like, looking for your ass? And he's like, get in here, man. And I'm like, okay. And so I go up to the front door, and this big dude wearing nice clothes with fucking rings on his fingers answers the door. And he's like, are you Matt? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, your boy Chase is in here. You want to come say hi? And I'm like, yeah.
I guess so.
And so he lets me in, and there's a woman who's not wearing a whole lot of clothes. Her hair and makeup are all done. She's got really nice nails. She's wearing high heels.
Whoa.
And like her and Chase are just chilling in the kitchen, like having a beer. And dude's like, "Do you want a beer?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!"
All right.
And so we crack a beer, and like Chase is like, "Dude, you got some weed?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Let's fucking smoke some weed." And the girl's like, "Yeah, I want to smoke some weed." And the guy's like, "Yeah, you guys should smoke some weed." And I'm like, fucking cool. And so like
Okay.
I'm busting out my shit, you know, I'm like ready to start rolling up a joint. Fucking knock, knock, knock. And like we're all just looking at each other like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you guys looking at me? I don't fucking live here. And like Chase, I could tell Chase is thinking the same fucking thing. And the guy says, "Do you guys know who could be knocking at the door right now?" And Chase looks at me and I look at him, and then we hear Eric's fucking voice. He's like, "Hey, you guys in there?"
Oh no.
And like Chase's face fucking falls. And he's like, "Yeah, man, we know that dude." And the guy gets this fucking frown on his face. He's like, "Okay." And he goes and he answers the door, and Eric's like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man? Oh, hey, guys, what are you doing?" And the guy like turns and he looks at us. And he looks back at Eric and he's like, "I think these guys were just leaving."
Oh no.
And we're like, "Yeah, I guess it's time to go. Thanks for the beer, man. Like, you know, y'all have a good night." And like we get out on the street and like, you know, Chase is still waving, and like the door closes and he's like, "Eric, you fucking piece of shit." And,
Oh
like,
no.
Eric's like, "What, man? Like, I heard you guys partying in there. I want to come hang out."
Oh, no.
And he's like, "Dude, we were about to fucking make a porno in there." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Dude, you knew the score." And I'm like, "Yeah, all right." There was definitely a vibe in there. He's like, "Yeah, I know. I know you knew." And I'm just like, "Dude, what the fuck?" Like, he's like, "Yeah, man, you saw the fucking camera." And yeah, there was actually a fucking camera.
Oh,
and
like on a tripod?
yeah, and like a white wall with a fucking white couch and
Oh,
shit.
man.
Like, they were, and like I don't know, like I'm guessing like because Chase was too mad to fucking really give me the play-by-play on like what happened before I showed up.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing what happened is he went to the door and was like, "Do you want to sign my petition?" And the guy was like, "I'll do you one better."
Yeah. Do you want to sign my petition? Catch my drift.
Yeah, and Chase was like, "Oh, hell to the motherfucking yes." And they were just getting warmed up, and like he just saw me walking by and was like, "This white dude's cool." Like,
Yeah.
get his ass in here
Well,
too.
he probably had to be like, "Hey, my buddies are going to be coming around, like, looking for me.
Yeah.
And I just saw my one homie, so, like..."
Well, and shit, he might have also been concerned for his fucking safety at the end of the day too. Like, with
Yeah,
that
sure.
fucking dude, just like,
Who knows?
I'm not going to be the brother who fucking disappears on this fucking field trip, you know? Like,
Dude, right?
so yeah, he saw me. He was like, "Get in here, motherfucker!" Like,
Yeah, that's so funny. And then guy was like, "Okay, 3 of these fucking jackasses is too
Yeah.
much to handle. Like,
Yeah.
I can't fucking keep tabs
well,
on
and
this.
also he took one look at Eric and was just like, "Fuck this
This
guy."
fucking guy's out."
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, man.
Eric was such a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's like everyone knew it.
Yeah. Oh, and that night, like, he was like, "You want to ride home, dude?" And I was like, "Yeah, man."
I guess.
And so, like, he's like, "Cool, like, you want to get high?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so, like, he fucking rolls this fucking pin. Or no, that's right, he had this shitty little fucking glass pipe that he fucking put the tiniest amount of weed in
no.
and, like, fucking hit most of it and then, like, gave me the fucking ash hit.
Oh, no.
And then he was like, "Yo, you like Dr. Octagon?" And
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
you know, I do.
I do too, yeah.
But, like,
yeah.
I certainly didn't want to sit in his fucking car with him and listen to it. And,
Yeah.
like, he made me listen to the whole first side of the fucking, like, the tape.
Yeah.
The tape of the album. I had to listen to the whole first side before he would start the fucking car. And I'm just like, Jesus, man.
You ever heard of Atmosphere, man?
Exactly. Well, at least it was, I mean, don't get me wrong, I fucking love Atmosphere.
I do
but,
too,
like,
yeah.
at least it was something that was, like, kind of artistic and weird and trippy.
Oh, dude.
You know, like...
Fucking Dr. Octagon is awesome. I love
Yeah.
Cool Keith. He's such a fucking weirdo.
Absolutely.
But yes, like, the white backpack rappers found that shit and really glommed on. So, yeah.
Just what a pain in the ass.
Holy shit, man. What a weird fucking day in Auburn, man.
Yeah. That was pretty much the highlight of my petitioning career, and like I don't remember exactly like what brought an end to it. I think it was just that I wasn't making any, like literally any money, and so I either fucking got the job at Baskin Robbins or fucked off to Oregon to like do construction again. I don't remember like what order the timeline goes in necessarily, but
oh man, that's so funny.
I was just like, no, this is not happening.
No. I mean, it sounds like the worst fucking job, honestly. So I had a whole other story of like my weird hustle that I did, but I'm actually going to just save it for another episode because we're already like an hour in on this one, and I think that's perfect. Yeah. I will throw a little cap onto this about petitioning. So when I was living insane, the apartment I lived in when I was living insane, the dumb little apartment that we had, when I was like 17 years old, things had sort of fallen apart at that house. Like the roommates weren't getting along, and we all kind of knew our time was up. We had stopped selling mushrooms. We had stopped kind of everything. Right. None of us had any money, and so it was all just kind of like everyone was just kind of like grumpy all the time, and like whatever.
Nothing sucks like a flop house with no money.
Yeah, totally. And I met this guy named Jim. He was this older guy. He was probably, if I had to guess, he was probably like late 30s, early 40s when I met him. And we were still slanging like a little bit of weed on the side, and so he would come by and get weed from us. But he was a really fucking cool guy. He was just really talkative, really friendly, and I kind of ended up befriending him and picking up some work with him because he knew I was like didn't have a real job, and he was like, "Hey, tell you what, man, like I got some work for you. It's not great, but like I can pay you under the table. I'll pay you $8 an hour or whatever." Which at the time,
that's great.
I mean, minimum wage was like $4.55 an hour back in like 1999. So this was like right around the time you were doing this.
Exactly.
So started going over to his house, and he was a early days eBay hustler. So he was selling vinyl records and like little collectibles and trinkets, and was like hitting up antique stores. But this guy was just an all-around hustler, and I'll kind of get to that in a minute. But the thing that I was doing was he had found this deal on computer magnets, and they were these little like almost like trapezoidal shaped high-powered magnets that would go on the inside of computers. And
okay, do you want to explain a little bit about that?
I don't know anything about it
because at that time, magnetic storage was essentially the only type of storage available.
Okay, so maybe they were like to build hard drives?
No, I'm saying that's like the worst idea. Like, why would you put a magnet in a computer? It's going to fucking delete your hard drive.
So I don't know what they were for. That's what he told me they were for. He said that they were for building computers. But they were these little trapezoidal magnets.
Okay, this guy was selling snake oil.
Well, I don't know. He was making good money doing it then.
Oh, fuck. Maybe there's a piece of the puzzle that we're missing here, because I've built a lot of computers and I've never used a magnet.
Yeah, there must be a piece of the puzzle that we're missing. I have no idea. And now that I'm talking about it, you're right. That checks out. There's no magnets in computers. Unless... No, I don't know. I don't fucking know, man.
Nope.
I have no fucking idea.
Not a signal magnet to be found. Unless you're building a hard drive from scratch, which
maybe
is not a DIY thing.
Well, who knows? Well, anyway, they looked like a trapezoid, but they had kind of like a weird shape to them. And they came in these bricks of about like 20 long, so it was kind of this like log of these magnets, right?
Yeah.
And they were super high powered. And
computer magnets.
I don't know, man.
I am so in love with this now.
Well,
keep going.
And this is also like 20 years ago, so like I have no fucking idea.
This is great.
But he was selling these on eBay, and he was getting about $6-7 a piece for them, and we were selling them at about 1 to 3 a piece. That was about each order. And because of shipping regulations, how you have to ship magnets, especially high-powered ones, basically even a single one of these magnets had to be like balled up in all this paper and then centered in like a bigger box.
Sure.
And that's how it had to be packed up. And so that's what he had me doing, was I would basically take these logs of magnets, very carefully snap one off at a time, or 3 or however many we were selling, package them up. But you had to be really careful in how you snapped them off, because they were really, really high powered. So if they came off but not quite all the way, they'd like snap back onto the fucking log of magnets, and if your fucking skin was in there, it would just like pinch it. And like, I mean, I ended up with like so many little blood blisters from like these things just like slamming back and like nipping my skin and shit. Like,
wow.
But apparently he got this crazy deal from this like company that was selling them in bulk. Like, he bought like 10,000 of these magnets for like $1 a piece, and then he's selling them for like $6, $7, $8 a piece on eBay.
That's
so
just pure profit.
Yeah, so it was a great hustle, and that's why he was able to pay me so well. And I did that with him for like a good month until we sold out all the magnets. In this time, got to know the guy because I spent a lot of time just hanging around his apartment. Well, and this is the great thing too, like, he'd not only bring me over to his apartment and I'd package these magnets, but he'd smoke me out, you know. So just like, cool,
it's a killer boss.
Just
right
like
there.
Go over there, he smokes me out, and I just do these magnets, and we just shoot the shit. And he'd play these like great vinyl records that he had that, like, you know, he's selling, but like, he's like, yeah, you want to listen to this first edition fucking Beatles that's like, I've got it listed, but like, we can throw it on and shit. Like, dude, shit, yeah,
wow.
Man. And then we also like, yeah, and so we got to know each other, and like, dude was really cool, and for whatever reason he thought my 17-year-old ass was cool, so he started inviting me over to play Total Annihilation, which, for people who don't know, it's a real-time strategy computer game, much like StarCraft or OG Warcraft, but it was like mech robots and like nukes and stuff.
Fuck yeah.
And so we would do these all-night sessions. It was him and then another friend that he had. I would come over at like 8 p.m. and we'd go until like the sun came up, you know.
Shit.
And like playing these all-night sessions of fucking real-time strats.
Our thing at that time was Dune 2000.
Dude, nice.
It was a good fucking game.
But the other thing this guy did, and the reason he was doing all this eBay stuff, was because he was between gigs, because he was a petitioner, but he was like a lead. He was like your Craig or your Steve, right? Like, he was the guy in the shitty little office, like,
right,
recruiting people and putting together the teams and stuff. But he made really, really fucking good money because his head office would pay him as a lead to get a team together, and he would go around the country. So like, his head office would be like, hey, we've got a gig in like Omaha, I need you and 4 other guys, I will pay you $1,000 for every guy you bring, and I'll also pay you like $5,000 just right off the top for your travel expenses and your hotel and for the gig, and then you'll get paid for every signature. Your guys will get paid for every signature.
Jesus.
And then if you hit the goal, then you'll get a bonus of an additional like couple $1,000s. So he was like making really fucking good money doing these gig. Just like 2-week fucking campaigns like around the country. And yeah, and he had like a VW bus, or I think it was like one of the Wagoneers or whatever they called them, with the like pop-up.
Westphalia.
Yeah, the Westphalias. Yeah, he had one of those. Yeah. With the pop-up bed and shit. So dude was ready to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, it would have been a very different life for me if I was 1 year older, because like, he was like, dude, you should do this when you turn 18. And I was like, you know what? I would absolutely work for you. I'd fucking come, I'd follow you anywhere, man. You're a born hustler, man. You know how to fucking make money. And that was something I really picked his brain on a lot, was like, man, because he told me, he was like, the thing I learned at a young age, he was like, is that I never want to be without. And if I wake up any morning and I only have $10 to my name, by the end of that day I will have 100. And then the next day I will turn that 100 into another 100, and then go from there. And like, I will never be without. Even if I lose it all and have to start from scratch, I've got plans. And I was like, teach me your ways, man. And unfortunately,
born hustler for sure.
Unfortunately, we didn't have much time together for me to totally fucking get the full mentorship from him. But he did like kind of teach me stuff like that. He was just like, think about it. Like, think about anything you can do. What can you take the money you have, turn it into something? And he like told me to, and this is something I tried doing. He told me to, he was like, go buy some number stencils and a can of spray paint, knock on doors, and see if people will pay you $10 to spray paint their address out on the curb. Because you can, put the numbers out on the curb for the fire department or for, for the post worker or deliveries or whatever. He's like, many people want this because, like it just helps them like receive packages and stuff like that. And he's like, you don't have to charge much, but your investment into a stencil set and a can of spray paint's nothing. He's like, so you can do $10 on each one of these. If you get 10 of those in your day, you've made $100. And I was like, fucking hell, dude, like, that's brilliant. I did try it. I was really bad at it. I got like one sale, and I was like, I don't like door-to-dooring, but like,
right.
But it still was like the concept was there. I was like, and if I applied myself, I probably could have stenciled more fucking sidewalks and shit, but...
Well, that's the thing, like, how many people are fucking type A personalities, like...
Yeah.
Maybe 10%?
Yeah,
20.
totally. And this guy, like, clearly was that. And that was kind of his method with petitioning, because he was talking to me about petitioning, and he's like, the thing is, he's like, all I do is... if you hand something to someone, they will grab it. Like, it's just a natural reflex. He was like, so what I do is I just put the clipboard in people's hands before I'm even talking, because they're already holding it. Yep. And then he's like, and then my pitch can be whatever, and half the time they'll just sign just to get the interaction over with.
I've done that so many fucking times.
Yeah. If it's something they even remotely agree with, if it's like, especially if it's an easy one, it's like, hey, this one's to save animals. They're like, animals? Great. Sign, I need to get to work.
Yep.
And then boom, and you're off. Like, you're off to the races.
Like, that's the most successful, and I unfortunately never picked up on this in my time, but like the most successful people that I've seen in the field, like, they're just like, hey, can I get your signature on this? And they just hand you the clipboard as they're saying it, and you're like, oh, what is this for? And like, you're already going to sign it.
Well, right, you already have the pen in your hand, you already are holding the clipboard, and you need this interaction to end now because you realize what you've done.
Yeah. And you're just making sure that you're not like legally signing away your life.
Right, yeah. Tell me what this is. Like, give me the elevator pitch. Oh, it's for this. Like, sounds harmless. Like, here you go.
You want blankets for seals? Absolutely.
Right, totally. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Oh, you're trying to turn rainwater green. Like, cool. I mean, I don't hate that.
I agree with rainwater. Let's make this happen.
Totally.
Can I go now?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? And so that was his whole thing. He was like, this is how I hustle, this is how I make money.
Just as a side note, the worst hustle I've ever seen, and the thing that hurt me in my heart, was this incredibly attractive woman who was petitioning outside of Target downtown here in Portland. I just needed to fucking piss on a cellular level, and so I'm like, Target's got bathrooms, so I fucking charge in there, and like, just kind of blew past her on the way in. And on the way back out, she's like, hey, you didn't seem like you had much time for me before. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm sorry. I really needed to take care of something. And she's like, okay, well, like, blah, 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 about blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. Like, I really got to get back to work. And she's like, oh, I thought you wanted to talk to me.
Oh, no. She's using, like, stripper tactics?
Yup. And I'm like fucking heartbroken because I absolutely want to talk to her.
Right.
But I actually need to get back to work.
And also, she's just hustling you like a stripper is.
She absolutely had no interest in speaking to me, but, figured she'd twist the knife.
Yeah. Thought you wanted to talk to me. Thought you had time for a pretty lady.
Right? I'm just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You get nothing out of that apart from, like, the satisfaction that you put some fucking schlub in his place, Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Out here doing a job, making everybody fucking feel bad. Fuck you.
Yeah. Dude. Ugh. That's a bunch of what that shit is, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Well, that was a fun fucking story. You had not told any of that shit before.
Okay,
that is
cool.
fucking super fun. So yeah, we'll kill it here, but like I've got we'll just two-part this. I've got a fucking good one.
Yes,
a
dude.
real good one.
Yes.
A weird ass job that I did.
I love this prompt. Like, what's the weirdest fucking job you've had? Well, I've had several.
Yeah,
This is the weirdest.
Yeah, totally.
That I can think of right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, it would have been weird if I was 1 year older, because I probably would have followed this dude to Omaha and, like, joined his petitioning team, and
Right?
I don't know what kind of person I would have been.
A
now.
hustler. You would have been a man who's selling magnets to computer owners.
I certainly would have become his fucking apprentice and would have become better with money. That's for damn sure. But
yeah, I could use some of that too.
But I don't know. But also, I don't know where I would have ended up, because that dude was also 40, like living in a basement and befriending 17-year-olds to package his computer magnets, which may or may not even be a real thing.
I'm saying, I've definitely fallen in with at least one, if not several, con men at some point in my life, and like only realized it later.
Yeah,
you know?
dude was definitely like used to be a con man and had run cons in his day. Like, I know he did.
Right.
And like he may have found kind of a legal avenue to some of his fucking game, but like,
Oh yeah, no. This con man like straight up showed me some of his cons. Like, still has a few of them sitting on his trophies. Like, here's this fucking weird ass pregnancy test that we sold for a while.
Oh,
and, like,
shit.
Here's all these other fucking busted ass products, and I'm just like, you're just hiding here in Central Oregon, aren't you?
Here's my computer magnets.
You're
What's his name?
just-
Jim? Did he have a Westphalia?
No, his name is Nick.
All right.
But he was a fucking virtuoso classical guitarist.
Dude, nice.
Like, he played a performance of his from some concert hall in Europe, and like, who the fuck knows where it actually was?
Yeah.
But I mean, an audience was fucking clapping, and it was the same song that he played for me, like, live.
In person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, so I know that, like,
Yeah.
he can at least play that song. Who knows what that recording was? But like,
Totally.
but I mean, like, dude, like, is really fucking good at guitar. So I mean,
Oh, yeah.
maybe that's just, you know, his own personal talent, and like all of the shit about him being a fucking classical guitarist in Europe was total lies, because I definitely think that's what it was. But at the very least, he had some weird cons and could play some guitar.
Hell yeah. Right on.
Oh, and he gifted me a fucking truck at one point.
Whoa.
I mean, I gave it back because it was not street legal.
Yeah. He was like, here's a way to get rid of this truck.
You had to park it on a wedge to fill the gas tank because its frame was bent that badly.
Oh, shit.
You had to get like one of the rear tires up on a fucking wedge. And then you could pump gas into it.
Dude, in Oregon, the pump attendant just like, hold on, bro, I gotta get the wedge.
Well, here's the thing: yeah, exactly. But no, we had Pacific Pride cards.
Oh, yeah.
For our company gas cards, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm putting company gas in this fucker.
Dude, hell yeah.
I only had it for a little while, and I barely drove it because I had the company truck that I was driving. But like, you know, when you go into the bar, you don't want to drive the company truck, so
Right.
you drive the not street legal fucking Bronco Sport or whatever it
Right.
was. Like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Man, that's awesome. All right, folks. That will do it for today. My face hurts from laughing at your fucking
Right?
story, man. Oh, man. Okay. Well, we'll see you all very soon. And yep, that's that. We don't normally do these sign-offs. But, yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
We love you.
Cheers, y'all.